Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a special Saturday night episode of Frenchie's Nook. I wanted to take a couple moments tonight to talk to you about something I mentioned over on my other page this week, and that's motivation. And what I wanted to talk about was why it's important to stay motivated, and how do you stay motivated when things are going on in the media that really irk you or really upset you, or it's hard to stay away from the media. I mean, even if you don't have cable television or satellite television or whatever, and you aren't in tune with the news, you're still going to hear it on the radio. If you're on the internet, you're still going to see it on the internet. It doesn't matter. It's hard to get away from it unless you're living in a bubble or some remote part of the country or your country. Then it's impossible. And this week there was a couple issues in Canada here that came up that were difficult to digest, I guess. And they were difficult to digest because they happened within our government. One of them happened within our government. The other one happened within our judicial system. I'm not going to get into them both at the moment, but the one in the government, let's just say that our government decided that it was important to keep giving someone with PTSD who is in prison, incarcerated for murder, keep giving that person benefits for PTSD because their father was a veteran. Don't get me wrong. I thank the man for serving, but I think this should go on, like I mentioned on my page, this should go on a case-by-case basis. It's not right, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it right now because it'll just get me fired up. So if you're not sure what we're talking about here, go on over if you wish, and you don't know what happened this week within the Canadian government and the vote that was let down or not passed, I guess. You'll see what I'm talking about. And the other issue with our judicial system, there was a famous, not famous, there in the news, there was a young girl several years ago that was kidnapped and murdered. And one of her convicted killers, I guess we'll say, has been transported to a different facility. An Aboriginal facility, don't get me wrong, but here's the kicker. When you're in prison, and if you need to transfer to a different location, and I mean, everything has to go through the judicial system, don't get me wrong, but if you're going to an Aboriginal healing, it's an Aboriginal healing, I'm not sure what word I'm looking for here, but it's not a prison. There's no fences. They are not treated, I guess, as they would be in prison. And the reason this irks a lot of people is because you don't have to prove that you're an Aboriginal to be moved or placed in an Aboriginal healing location. So there's been pleas by several people. There's some pleas by the young girl's father, pleading to the judicial system and the Prime Minister to please move this convicted murderer back into a prison where she belongs. So, like I said, I'm not going to get into them a lot tonight. So here's the thing. What do you do when you're caught in a situation like this and the news is driving you nuts and you can't seem to get away from it, but at the same time, there's a lot of fairness that's not going on. And let's face it, life isn't fair. I get it. But this is our own government. This is our own judicial system. And they are making decisions that are really turning people's heads, we'll just say. And I don't agree. And there's many people on Facebook that don't agree. And there's many people, sorry, not on Facebook, there's many people in the country that don't agree and can't believe, even in my surrounding area here, because the abduction and murder. I hate to say that word, but the abduction and murder took place very close to Stratford here. So it's a situation that, how do you keep motivated? How do you keep driving? How do you not take a step back when the government does something like this, or anybody does when you see something like this? Let's just say it like that. How do you not take a step back? How do you not say all the work that's going on, all the work that goes on with mental health, PTSD, depression, anxiety, anything that relates to what we're doing here on PTSD, The Truth Behind a Smile, Frenchie's Nook, any of that stuff on Carl's page as well, Bunker Gear for Your Brain. The work that goes on, and the work that goes on all throughout the mental health community, and the effort that has been placed by MP Todd Doherty to get Bill C-211 passed back a couple years ago. All this work, and push and push and push and push. And you finally get heard, and then the government, it feels like you made a step forward. And then the government slams a door and does makes a decision such as this. And it feels like you've just been pushed back 2 steps. So how do you do it? You know what? I do it because we can't stop. We made it this far, and everybody before now that has pushed and driven and talked and plead has made it this far. We've made mental health awareness a big deal, because it is a big deal. We've made PTSD a big deal, because it is a big deal. Because there's people out there that are still afraid to come out and say what's going on and tell somebody, and instead they're taking their own lives sometimes. We can't have that. Yet it happens every single day. Somebody takes their life every single day because of depression, anxiety, and even PTSD. So what do you do? What are we going to do? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep pushing, and I'm going to keep coming on here, and I'm going to keep telling my story, and I'm going to keep helping those that need that extra push, helping those that just need to talk for a minute. And we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep driving, and we're going to keep pushing. And those in our government, MP Todd Doherty, which is conservative, those in our government are going to keep pushing as well. Because we didn't get here, or they didn't even get here by sitting on their hands. Now, it takes a lot of letters. It takes a lot of phone calls. It takes a lot of talking to people. You could talk to 100 people and get one response that you're looking for. And that's how it happens. So, how do you stay driven? Well, you get up every day, and as everybody tries to tell each other, every day's a new day. Every day's another day that you have to prove PTSD wrong. Prove that you can beat it. Prove that the help that we're doing is getting somewhere. And if we keep pushing and pushing and doing it, you know what? We're going to make that step forward again. And we're going to make another step forward. And we're going to keep going, because they can't put this to the wayside. They say they're taking care of the Canadians and their country, but I don't. It's really hard to believe when something like this happens. And it's hard to believe that this kind of decision can be made. And it's hard. But you have to take a step back and say, wait a minute, you know what? I can't let that bother me. I can't let that bother anybody else. That shouldn't bother anybody else. We need to keep going. Make the decision to make a stand and keep pushing. And that's all we can do. Keep picking up the phone. Keep making calls. Keep talking to people. Those of you that do peer support, keep doing your peer support. Keep doing your Facebook Lives. Keep doing your YouTube videos. Keep doing what we got to do to get one step forward or get another step forward. Because you know what? Like I said, it's come this far. If we sit on our hands every time something bad happens or something that we don't like happens, it's not going to look very good. And it's not going to look very good because it'll look like we've given up. And we haven't given up. It's a little sidetrack, and it's a little pushback, but you know what? We're stronger than that. We can keep going. We can keep pushing. And that's what we're going to do. So, for all you out there that know the situations I'm talking about, if you haven't, go on the internet, Google some of the news that has happened this week, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If you want. If you don't want it to disrupt your week or throw a damper on things, then don't. By means, don't read it or don't go into it. Because you know what? If you're supporting PTSD and if you're supporting depression, anxiety, any kind of mental health issue, then it could set you back. And I don't want it to set anybody back. But just so you know, there's been some issues that have arisen. And if you need to talk to somebody about it, please do. If it sets you back or if it sets you off or puts you in a bad place, I'm sorry, but this video tonight is for motivation. It's to keep pushing. It's so that those of us with PTSD or any mental illness keep pushing. We can't let little setbacks like this make us stop. We can't make them prove us wrong. Because we're not wrong. We're right. And we're going to keep pushing. And that's all there is to it. Keep moving, keep pushing, keep getting up every day, and keep doing what you're doing. Because every day that you get up in the morning again, and you open the curtains, and you make your bed, and you take your shower, and you do one thing on your list, every day is another day that you're doing it, and you're making it. So keep making it, and keep doing it. And don't let the little stuff bother you. I know that's easier said than done, because we all have issues with that. But don't let it bother you. Keep moving. Keep pushing. And if anybody has any concerns or setbacks, reach out. Talk to somebody. If you have PTSD, if you believe that you have PTSD, or you're being diagnosed with PTSD or depression or anxiety or any type of mental illness, and you haven't told anybody yet or been able to come out and tell anybody, please get the courage. Please tell somebody. Because you know what? You're going to find that circle of friends. You're going to find that circle of people that you can talk to. And hopefully they will make a difference in your life. Because it's about the people we surround ourselves with. And the people that we surround ourselves with are the ones that are going to be there when we need to talk to them. Or when we talk to somebody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for following Frenchie's Nook. Thanks for being over here in PTSD Bunker Gear for Your Brain in the group, in the chat room. And I hope that everybody has a great weekend. And I hope that everybody joins us back here next Friday night at a scheduled Friday night of Frenchie's Nook. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.